10 years ago, America's infamous prison Guantanamo Bay locked up the first 20 detainees accused of terrorism. 700 suspects have passed through since, many allegedly being abused and tortured there, almost none getting a trial. Barack Obama had promised he would close it by now, but instead the president has signed a new law authorizing the indefinite detention of terror suspects. Christine Frizzell has more.
Promises made.
I have said repeatedly that I intend to close Guantanamo, and I will follow through on that.
Promises broken.
It is administration policy to try to close Guantanamo. We have certainly run into opposition.
The problem is he doesn't have a plan to do that, or at least what to do with terror suspects.
They are suspects like Murat Kurnaz, captured in Pakistan in 2001 while working for an NGO that helps young people get off drugs. He was sent to Guantanamo and tortured for 5 years.
I got waterboarded after I had seen a couple things. Couple people got killed in front of me. Some of them, they got just kicked on his head until he died. And the other one, he was hanging on chain until he died.
Forced to confess he was a member of Al-Qaeda, though he told them time and time again he was not.
It was freezing cold. It was during winter time. And I had no clothes on, so I was hanging there for many days. When the interrogator came, they pulled me back down, and he asked me, "Are you going to sign or not?" Every time when I said no, he just made like this, and they put me back up.
It's stories like this that draw fierce condemnation, even from within North America.
When one of the most powerful liberal democracies is behaving with hypocrisy and promoting, illegal practices and abusing human rights, that undermines the cause of human rights everywhere on the planet.
It is this hypocrisy that others say leads U.S. enemies to more action, not less.
I think the #1 recruiting tool for Zawahiri and bin Laden before he was killed was Guantanamo.
And Colonel Morris Davis, former prosecutor at Guantanamo Bay, resigned after being ordered to use information obtained during torture. He said he was hopeful things would change under President Obama.
He didn't just embrace the Bush policies, he kissed them on the lips and ran with them.
Many believe the prospect of closing Guantanamo Bay will now be much more difficult thanks to the passage of the National Defense Authorization Act by Congress. It was signed into law by President Obama on December 31st. Now, within that bill, provisions that allow the military to indefinitely detain anyone it considers to be a terrorism suspect without charge or trial. And with this increased leniency, no doubt, increased space to hold those prisoners will be needed.
But the NDAA clearly, is a major roadblock, and its passage really was the death knell for attempts to close Guantanamo, and now I think we're stuck with it.
President Obama will forever be known as the president who signed indefinite detention without charge or trial into law, even applying it to American citizens.
No person in military uniform ever volunteered or was enlisted into the military for the purpose of taking action against American citizens. It's to protect American citizens.
Protecting American citizens, the reason given for Guantanamo Bay in the first place. But 10 years later, it is having the opposite effect. Still, the once temporary solution now looking more and more like a permanent fixture. In Washington, Christine Frizzell, RT.